السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه وبعد. So a while back we started a Khatirah series just on Friday nights. And each Friday night after Isha we cover very briefly some of the meanings of what? Asma'ullah al-Husna, the most beautiful names of Allah Ta'ala. And so we spent a few weeks building up to this, and we spoke about the supreme name, Allah Jalla wa Ala. And now we come to the next two names. And we're doing two together because their meaning is very similar, and you have to understand both of them to understand each. And these are the names Ar-Rahman and Ar-Rahim. So the original meaning of rahmah, they say, is mercy or compassion. And when rahmah is applied to human beings, it is generally understood as an emotion of delicateness and affection. Because the two names, Ar-Rahman and Ar-Rahim, both come from Ra, Ha, and Mim. So when you look at these two names and you see how they get translated, they sound the same. If you look at any translation of the Quran, of the many that are out there, or flyers or booklets, you see that people translate Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim in so many different ways. Some say, in the name of Allah, the compassionate, the merciful. What's the difference between compassion and mercy? Some say, in the name of Allah, the beneficent, the merciful, or the merciful and compassionate. They use the two interchangeably. So what is the difference between these two names? You could translate Ar-Rahman as the compassionate or the merciful. And you can translate Ar-Rahim as the compassionate and the merciful. And this is where it helps to know a little bit about the Arabic. Because the name Ar-Rahman, it fits a pattern. A pattern in Arabic, we call that a wazn. It fits the pattern of fa'lan. So you have these words in Arabic that sound like fa'lan. So you have words like ghadban, angry. If you're sleepy, na'san. If you're hungry, you are jaw'an. If you're full after eating, you are sha'ban or shab'an. So you have all of these words that have this extra alif and nun, za'ida. So these words in Arabic, when they are used, they give a certain meaning. And that meaning is encompassment in action, right? Someone who is filled with anger is ghadban. Someone who's filled with food is shab'an. The one who is really tired is na'san. And the one who is really annoyed, za'lan, right? So you could translate Ar-Rahman using that meaning as the infinitely good, or the absolutely merciful, or the one of comprehensive compassion. That's how you can translate it. Now you come to the name Ar-Rahim and you get something different. In the name Ar-Rahim, it comes under this pattern, this wazn of fa'il. Right? So you have Kareem and Rahim, right? You have words like this. And in Arabic, when you have a word on that pattern, it is generally for sifa mubalagha. It indicates intensity. So this could also mean the intensely merciful, or the intensely compassionate, or the specifically merciful or compassionate. So what exactly is the difference between these two? Shaykh Ahmad Zarruq rahimahullah, and he's from your people, Shaykh Ismail. Shaykh Ahmad Zarruq gave one of the most beautiful explanations regarding the difference. They both come from Rahmah. And he says that because the name Ar-Rahman is all-encompassing, of Rahmah to everyone and everything, believer and disbeliever, he says this is the name of Allah, the one of Rahmah, and this is the Rahmah, the mercy of Ijad, Rahmatul Ijad, the mercy of being given existence. The fact that Allah has created this person or that person, given them wujud, given them existence, that itself is a kind of rahmah. Even if at the end of the day, they choose to bury that and ignore that reality. And he says that the name Ar-Rahim points to the rahmah of imdad, the rahmah of being bestowed graces and goodness. And that is why Ar-Rahman applies to Allah's rahmah for everyone, believer and disbeliever, grateful and ungrateful. And the name Ar-Rahim applies to the believers alone. Or you could say that Rahman is the one who is merciful with a mercy that applies to all in dunya, and the name Ar-Rahim is the one who is merciful with a specific mercy in matters of deen and akhirah, in the hereafter. This is how he has explained it. He says, and I quote, he is Ar-Rahman, Rahim towards the believers, and this name Rahim is exclusively for the believers because the true sustenance, the rahmah of imdad, is the spiritual sustenance, and that is reserved for them because the physical sustenance is shared among animals and others equally. So what do we do as Muslims is we often mention the basmalah when we eat or when we do different things. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. The basmalah is repeated in every chapter of the Quran except for one, and in the beginning of the chapters. And there is a significance in the fact that these names are paired. And the great Imam As-Sanusi rahimahullah ta'ala, he said that when you have to pair them together in your own life too. So just as you recognize that Allah is Ar-Rahman and merciful in matters of what He brings you in dunya, you also recognize Allah as Ar-Rahim in matters of the akhirah. So Imam As-Sanusi says, the fact that these two names are paired gives us a very subtle indication. Just as we pair them verbally, when we say Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, we should also pair them spiritually. How do you do that? He says, one should not take any worldly blessing, which is linked to the name Ar-Rahman, from His mercy in this world, except that he links it to the afterworldly blessing as well, which is linked to the name Ar-Rahim, such as Iman and righteous actions and so on and so forth. So if someone asks you what's the difference between the two, you simply say that Rahman is the merciful, and this is a mercy for all of existence. And this is the mercy of being given existence. And the name Ar-Rahim is the unique mercy reserved for the believers and a mercy that manifests in the hereafter. Otherwise, both names come from the same root, Rahima and from Rahma. وصلى الله وسلم على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم.